In James Still's River of Earth, it is clear that the people of Appalachia and their lifestyles are entirely dependent on mining coal and the availability of work. Almost 100 years later, the economy of Appalachia is still very much driven by coal mining, so much so that miners are destroying the land by mountaintop removal in order to gain access to coal. However, as the now flat mountaintops have been used as sites for prisons, we now see the prison industrial complex at work. According to John Eason, professor at Arizona State University, the prison industrial complex is the notion that Black and Hispanic prisoners are exploited for the benefit of poor, unemployed white prison towns, and is an institutional dynamic in which vested economic interests actively promote prison construction and a punitive system of criminal justice. According to Judah Shept, professor at Eastern Kentucky University, as the idea of the prison industrial complex in the United States arose, Kentucky's incarcerated population grew by 442%, from 3,723 prisoners in 1980 to over 20,000 in 2010.
If anybody's going to be picky about what jobs you get, when you're hungry, honey, you'll take a job. I mean, I don't know if anybody or any part of the country can say, well, we're not going to take this kind of job, we're not going to take that kind of job. That'd be, times change. We weren't going to have a prison here because there was no money. It came to me, why don't we build it and rent it to the state? It was kind of wild, but oddly enough, when we ran it by the state, they thought it sounded pretty good. So within 3 weeks, they had legislation on the floor of the House, and it passed overwhelmingly, giving us the authority to build this prison.
Nobody likes to pay a lot around here.
Because I think it's more secure than just like a fast food job or something. We could probably find a job in the mines paying about the same. It's not something you want to start out at as
when it's back going.
As a career, yeah. You don't want to start looking into it as a career.
We could be 30 years old and out of work because there's no more coal right
It's
here.
like selling slaves. They were just selling people down there, making over $11 million while they did this.
States are strapped for money, so they're having to build prisons, but they don't want to spend a lot of money on staff, on programs, on education, on things that could make prisons more than warehouses.
Each family in Connecticut, that child is down there in that prison. We have to go, we have to spend a massive amount of money. Telephone company, every one of these big corporations here in America has a hand in making money off the prison system. This is why they're probably saying to the judge, give them more time, give them more time. We make money, we give you a cut in it. The more money we make, the bigger cut you'll get.
That's right.
And I do believe that. I really do believe that.
We support a prison economy that's estimated at being worth $35 billion a year to private companies. There is no incentive for anybody to stop doing the business of prison. It not only supports major corporations, but where Teresa and I also happen to be in Alderson, which I'll get into, Alderson, West Virginia, the women's federal prison, there's nothing in that town but the prison. So if the prison wasn't there, there would be nobody employed. So the prison is an employment program. You have to understand that when the families of 1,000 women come to visit, they bring business to that town. They stay in the town, they eat in the town, they shop in the town. So that town only thrives. And there are 5,000 or more prisons in the United States and jails. And they intentionally put them in way far away places where it's a town's entire income. So when you understand that the reason we've had, in 1970 when there was only a couple 100,000 people in prison, all of a sudden you see a 40-year jump from 1 million to 2.5 million. Crime has gone down, but prisons are loaded with people, and today they're still building more prisons.
The cost is to people, to our country, to communities, to families, and to ourselves. The policy seems to be if you've committed a felony, we just give up on you. These wars on crime, wars on drugs, they are wars on people. The smart political move is to appear tough on crime because crime is scary, so we increased minimum sentences, we arrested more people, we sent more of them to prison. That's how we looked tough on crime, but the results are in. It's bad policy. It's cruel, it's short-sighted, and to continue this policy of mass incarceration would be foolish. We're living inside of a massive $75 billion per year failed experiment.
It is clear from these testimonials of those on whom the construction of prisons in Appalachia has had the most effect that these prisons came with the promise of new jobs and a better economy. However, according to Sylvia Ryerson of Appalachia, these benefits are not always guaranteed and obviously come at a high cost to society.